the film explores memory in such a poetic and poignant way. How do Yang's memories serve as a reminder to hold on to those smaller moments in life, the moments that may not seem as memorable, but really are the most precious?
I feel like it's very, though, I thought it was really interesting, the exploration of Yang's memories and what Kogonada chose to select as his memories. Because in a way, I think it's sort of distilling this very human idea of like when we remember things, I mean, it's little things that we remember, that we sensed, that we, you know, and although for Yang it wasn't like a smell or a texture or a taste, for humans it is kind of that. And so in a way, like these little memories, they kind of were like that, you know, you remember like sometimes the most random things. You don't just remember things the way that people usually show memory in a movie. And I thought that that was really interesting. Absolutely. And also the idea that you remember what you remember is always different than what actually happened. Mm-hmm. You know, I love to, you know, to see that. Like I loved how he would sort of, as whoever was watching one of Yang's memories, then you would also see, like, you would see Yang's memory versus like what that person remembered. Mm-hmm. And I just thought that was really special and magical, because I feel like that is so how memory works. You know, like memory is like the distillation of the experience into a feeling.
I was going to say, Jodie, one of my favorite scenes in the film is the conversation between you and Yang around butterflies. And that conversation is something where I think in the moment you're not thinking like, oh, this is a huge moment in my life, but it is evoking so much emotion, and it's having, you know, both of the characters are kind of going through a different experience, and kind of the conversation is touching them in different ways, and they're also interpreting it in different ways. And you see that when you watch the memory, and you see how it affected both of them. And it becomes actually this very precious, important moment, even though it's just a conversation between two people. And
it really becomes this representation of like what Kira was experiencing internally. Like we never really talk about what she's going through and what's happening for her. And I feel like so much about that memory was her seeing herself seen, which is something that I feel that she wasn't experiencing, and was part of her frustration. You know, she wasn't being seen as a wife who needed support from her husband, as a mother who was feeling stressed out, and all of these ways she wasn't being seen by her husband, you know, because he wasn't answering her call to step up differently. Yeah. And so what she was experiencing, and even like, you know, in the beginning of the film, you see that she kind of has that moment by herself, and, you know, there's things that she's experiencing that she's not getting to express.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful moment, and is a really lovely reminder for us to never take advantage of where a conversation can lead, or never shy away from a moment that we can have that kind of energy exchange or that human connection, because you never know how it will help heal you or give you whatever you need in that moment that might feel so disconnected from what you're going through, but in a way can help. Haley, what about you?
What about me? Or
yeah.
Well, yeah, I was just thinking, well, you guys talk, like, it's also so cool because Yang's memories are of the most like mundane, simple, like truly human moments. Mm-hmm. So it's just so cool how when the characters in the movie realize that he's has this inner life, and these moments that he's choosing to, you know, collect and capture and save, how they're like reminding the family of that humanness and of that of life. And so that's just so cool because he's a freaking robot. But it's
that's why what's so brilliant about this film is that, you know, we can all I think the big idea is what defines being human, and like this idea of humanity. And like, you know, if you want to go really deep, it's like some animals act more human than humans do. Like, you know, it's just this idea of always being able to get back in touch with our humanity. And how beautiful that this robot for, you know, this AI gifts this family and Ada, I think, a chance to sort of reconnect with their humanity and what's important in their lives. And also, like, I think it's so refreshing to see too, like a film set in the future where there's self-driving cars, there's advanced technology, but the world that is created is less robotic and more human. And it's really, for me at least, was a reminder, because I think we all have that fear of, will we lose human connection as we, you know, as technology advances. And it was a beautiful reminder of a future, or a vision of the future, that where humanity is still very present and intact and important and resonates with people. Yeah, it was lovely to see. It was a beautiful way to kind of see technology in a very human way, which I don't think we get. I've never seen a film like this in that way.
I also think where we're at now with technology is so much taking away from the experiencing life. And I feel like that is what this movie makes me feel more of, is like just the experience of life. Like, not human, but he is definitely existing and experiencing life. And that is like, right now where we're at in technology is distracting from that experience. So it is cool to imagine a world where we come so far with technology where that's the thing that almost reminds us of humanity. That's a huge concept. Wow, this movie's
it's like 50 minutes. What about 150 minutes? Like, I could talk up, but that's the like beauty of storytelling. And but what's so cool too about the film is the film also is constantly evolving around living, breathing. There's so much nature in every home. There's a lot of plants. There's this breath. There's this breathe. Like, everything feels alive, even though you're around, again, robots and clones and, you know, all these interesting, you know, aspects. What has stepping into the world of this film and playing these characters taught you both most about yourselves?
Well, in a way, it's sort of like foreshadowed motherhood for me, which I think is really interesting, because now when I watch it back, you know, I was not a wife, I was not a mother when I made this film. And I just think there are some really beautiful concepts in it that are about family and belonging, and a family that is mixed, you know, a family that is not, that has differences and are trying to figure out how to come together despite those, because of those. Yeah, I don't know. And then obviously just as an artist, as a performer, I feel like I just grew so much inside of this experience. I learned so much working with each and every one of the actors in this movie, and Kogonada was just the most incredible captain. I had never had that experience on a set before, like the one that he created, and now I'm just desperate to work with him over and over and over.
What a gift. I mean, I think that comes across in your performances. I mean, the vulnerability, the subtleties of both of these characters. It's, I feel like we can start to sense that now when, you know, a safe environment was created behind the scenes. It's just, it's beautiful. And what a beautiful gift, Jodie, that you can show this to your child one day. And to show kind of the complexities of motherhood, like you mentioned earlier. And yeah, what a gift. I want to ask y'all a question if you don't mind, but I love the role that T plays in this film. I'm a huge T fan, and there's something
Same. Cheers.
right, and it's like so just relaxing and oh, just it's really lovely. And in honor of Jake's conversation with Yang about how a sip of a tea, you know, can evoke a place and time and transport you, which I loved. If you feel comfortable, I would love to know a special place that y'all would like to be transported with a sip of tea in your minds.
My living room, sitting next to my husband, watching something on TV. That's where a cup of tea, I like it to transport me.
That's very cozy. I like that too. Haley, what about you?
I'd love to be sitting with Jodie and her husband on the couch. If that's all right. I'm honestly gonna say I just love my home, and I like
You blowing bubbles?
Oh, is she there?
So sweet. You're a little bit, yeah.
Feathers.
Oh, those must be fun, baby. Yeah, you're like, here's distraction.
But yeah, I know I'm a simple gal. I'd probably pick like my couch or my bed or a nice mountain in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, like having like an earthy tea
Mm-hmm.
on the red rocks of Sedona.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I wish I could drink a cup of tea that transports me back to being on set of After Yang.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Working with Kogonada is a very special experience.
You're so lucky you got to do 2 films with him now.
It's like the best. I literally know this sounds extreme, but it's the best experience of my life working with him. Both times, just having that collaboration, and in my top 5 favorite people I've known ever in my entire life. I just like respect him and learn things from him and just feel so like connected to him, and it just feels it is a gift. You said gift, and it really is a gift to be able to work with him and tell stories with him. And
Truly.
And then y'all give us a gift, because then we get to watch his beautiful films with your performances. I mean, you can tell it's just a wonderful marriage, and it feels very collaborative, and there's so much care and substance, and just it's so beautifully authentic, and it's so needed. And these types of stories, I mean, y'all know they're so important. So just thank you again.